All right, we're going to talk a little bit about setting up for the squat, choosing a better squat position. Have a buddy of mine, old buddy of mine, who was a power lifter, who's been a power lifter. Man, he competed 30, 40 years ago. Old school power lifter, went into bodybuilding for a long time. Now he's several years older than me and wanting to get back to doing some squats. He's having some issues all the way around with back, hips, knees, that sort of thing. And he's been bodybuilding for a decade and a half, competitive. And that's kind of changed everything for his body mechanics. And he's just gotten 10 to 15, 20 years older as well. So he wants to get back to squatting. And the goal is not a big squat. The goal is not necessarily at all to squat for big legs. If you want a big squat, and there's a certain way you squat. The only thing that matters is that you squat to get that big squat, no matter what that takes. If you want to squat for big legs, then technique really doesn't matter. What matters is that you feel it in the part of your legs that you want to grow. If you want to squat just for body mechanics, if you want to squat just to squat, that is something completely different, another ballpark, and that's where I think I can help him just a little bit. So what do we do? That's kind of the thing. There's a bunch of different kind of squats. How do you have someone squat that's having issues getting down, who's having issues with their back, who's having issues just finding a groove at all with squats, with a plate and a half, 2 plates per side? Do we have them do a powerlifting squat? Do we have them do a box squat? That's not really something that he wants to do. So I think the most natural thing to do is the most natural squat there is, and that's a weightlifting squat. Now, a weightlifting squat is designed to build the snatch and clean and jerk. The clean and jerk and the snatch are designed to go with the body's natural mechanics. Okay, it doesn't mean they always do. They definitely don't always do that. But they're designed to go with the body's natural mechanics. A fairly upright chest, the body is actually loose instead of tight. I complain all the time about lifters that I see online that are squatting and everything is loose. Hands are moving, heads moving, they're doing the twist, getting ready to squat. They're treating it like it's a game, and it's not. It's supposed to be a heavy squat. When you watch a weightlifter squat, everything is kind of relaxed because their body, that mid and upper back, is focused and tight, and their whole body has to move quickly. And if you're tight, you can't move quickly. So this is what I'm seeing when you're squatting. Everything is tight and you're moving slow. And the farther that you go down, just like a powerlifting squat, you're tightening up, you're compressing, you're building all that rage inside so you can explode. What we want to look at with a weightlifting squat is a little more relaxed, so you can go down a little more relaxed with that mid and upper back, at least, I hate the word braced, but it's at least braced a little bit. That way you can relax into the hole with a decent posture, and you can come up pretty quick as well. Now, if I have someone, one of my clients that's generally strength-based, without major issues, the first thing I have them do, actually with everybody, learning the squat, bottom position is the most important position. First thing you got to do is find your bottom position. If you were a power lifter, it drives me insane when I see people coaching the powerlifting squat and they start at the top. Pick your stance. This is your stance. And they get to the bottom, they fall apart. No, you get to the bottom on the box. Now, obviously, I've got weightlifting shoes on because that's what I want you to have. Quit wearing those hippie shoes I'm seeing you squat in. Get some weightlifting shoes. Something with some balance and stability on the bottom, giving your foot some stability. You need that. You're not a young kid anymore. First thing you do for a powerlifting squat, find your position, find your best, strongest position at the position that you're most likely to get hurt and lose the lift at. The position, in the squat where you are having the most issues, which is at the bottom in the hole. So if I were working with a powerlifter, I would have them find their strongest foot position while on the bottom of the box. So if you're on the box, you can kind of move around, move your feet. You can apply pressure and say, I can explode from here, I can't explode from here. Do I need to be arched forward? Do my knees need to be out? Do they need to be in? Stance need to be in? Is my chest up, elbows down? Finding that position. But we are not interested in the box squat. So let me move this. Need my belt. So what I suggest you do, you can take some bands, which is what I would normally do. if I wasn't trying to act macho for this video, and grab the bar or the rack and just go down and find a position to where you can get somewhat comfortable. Now my back's on fire. I've got a herniated disc and a fractured disc in my back. But I can squat somewhere around here, and for a big guy, I can take a pretty close stance, and that's where I feel comfortable. Let me back up a little bit more so you can see my feet. You want the weight on your heels, okay? Mid-foot, but you want to be able to drive a little bit with your heels, okay? This is very similar to jumping, shooting a basketball. It starts off the mid-foot, and it comes up. The same way with that squat, that's where you get your power from. With the weightlifting squat anyway, weight should be on mid-foot, but you should be able to apply the pressure off the floor onto your heels. So when you're down, find your position. I can't sit here forever without putting my elbows in like this. I've got to bounce. I've got to bounce and move to find my position. But you might like a wider stance. You might like a closer stance, but play with it until you find that position to where you can kind of at least get your head up. You don't have to have that perfect arch. You don't have to have the perfect non-butt wink stance, but play with it till you find a position. It's also a halfway decent warm-up, and I'm pretty sure I did this dance back in the 90s. That does work the quads. So find your bottom position first. That's where everything's going to start. Don't start from up here. Start from your bottom position. You're also not an 18-year-old kid anymore. So your bottom position on the squat, your stance, honestly, it's probably going to be different 7 days of the week. Much less if you squat once a week. It's going to be way different. It's going to depend on how you sat, what hurt, how you moved all day, how much warm-ups you've done. It's going to depend on a million things. So every day when you go in the gym, don't say, this is my stance. Sit down and determine what your stance is. Start with the bottom position first. Is this cardio? Jeez. Now there are a dozen things we could cover, and I've already beat that into a long, overdrawn, dead horse, but finding your bottom position. Just want to say that one more time. So the only other thing I think I can cover that will make an immediate difference and will have the largest impact on your squat head to toe is to stay relaxed, okay? I know that's not always easy with an older lifter. I am an older lifter with a lot of miles on my body. I do weightlifting squat several times a week, even if it's just at home on my squat stands in the living room. So my body is used to this position. I will say that there is no perfect position for everybody. Just like finding the bottom position, everything else for the rest of your body is going to be different every day. I said this is a natural movement. So it's going to be more of what is natural to you today. It's going to be more of what's natural to you right now when you get under the bar. Not what is natural to the human race, what is natural to the human being. It's going to be what's natural to you today, right now, when you're in the bar. So don't worry about squeezing the bar like a powerlifting squat. Don't worry about pulling anything down and getting tight, because the tighter you get, the more restrictive you're going to be. And you want everything to move. So I just get my fingertips on the bar. My thumbs hang down. Sometimes my pinkies hang down as well. But how tight do you have to get to hold a couple of plates? Get the bar wherever you feel comfortable and relax. Hands are relaxed. Elbows are relaxed like this. I'm not saying you should do this at all. It drives me insane when I look at Instagram and see people doing this before their squats. It drives me insane. But you should be able to do this if you're just squatting to be able to squat and not to be able to squat heavy. Remember, the weight a little bit on the heels, but mostly mid-foot. And all you need to do is relax to get down there. That's it. Don't tighten up. Just relax. You can have a little dip in the hole, okay? Relax when you get down there. Everyone talks about how bad the butt wink is. Doesn't matter. If your body can move that way, it's probably a natural movement. If you were going to put 6 plates in each side of the bar, I'd worry about it. But we're not doing that. It's a natural movement, and the spine moves that way. So I'm not really worried about it, in this case anyway. I know, I'm squatting below parallel. Don't tell anybody. Without canvas on. My head stays Center position, upper body, chest stays locked in, but we're both old enough that it's gonna stay locked in. Our hands are gonna go numb anyway. Keep those fingers relaxed, keep your body relaxed, and that's all you need to do is relax on the way down and explode on the way up. Still feels like cardio. So, all right, man, I hope this helps a little bit. I know I'm long-winded. I don't do short-winded very well at all. That's why I'm out of breath, trying to cram everything in. Just take your time, be patient, find that bottom position, and try to be as relaxed as you possibly can when you're squatting. Do everything that you've learned not to do in powerlifting, basically, is what you need to do for the natural weightlifting squat. You're probably not gonna do this right off the bat, so take your time. But we've both been in this game long enough that we've given it a lot of time. We've still got time left to give. So be patient, work on it slowly. You can do this every single day, 2 or 3 times a day. It's a natural movement. Your body moves this way, so it should be able to do it multiple times per day. Frequency is probably more important than intensity, especially at this point, and especially at our vintage age. Thanks, man. Have a good one.